In this video tutorial, you will learn how to complete the present levels of performance, otherwise known as the Plop page. So over here where it says cover page, I'm going to hover over it so I can move to the next section. You'll see how the sections are in bold. That means I have not visited them yet. So I'm going to click on present levels of performance. And I'm going to talk you through what you would need to add in each section. So underneath where it says evaluation results, this is where you would put in state test scores. If the students had taken the tests, you could also write whether or not they opted out. And this is also where you should put their ELA reading level, the most current one that you know of. And you can always ask the ELA teachers for that information. This is one of the most important sections on this page, the academic achievement, functional performance, and learning characteristics. So this is where all the individual teacher teams are going to complete information for the 4 core subjects: ELA, math, science, and ELA 2. So they would be able to write how the student is doing currently in class, what are their strengths, what are some areas of growth, how is their behavior, and what strategies have they put in place that are helping the student be more successful in the classroom. This next section where it says student strengths, preferences, and interests, this is where we want to have evidence of student voice. So this is where you could ask the student either during the IEP meeting or before the IEP meeting questions about themselves. Questions that I like to ask are things like, what's your favorite subject? What types of books do you like to read? Who are your favorite authors and why? What are your hobbies? Are you involved in any extracurricular activities at school? And what do you want to be when you grow up and why? So this is all showing that the student is present at their meeting and has student voice. This section here, the academic development and functional needs of the student, including consideration of student needs that are of concern to the parent. So at the IEP meeting, after all of the teachers have gone around and told the parents the progress of the student thus far in the school year, this is where you want to ask the parents if they have any academic concerns for their student. If they do not have any academic concerns, you can't write an A. Every section needs to have at least 6 words or more. So then you would be able to write, the parent does not have any academic concerns at this time. But typically the parent is concerned about something. Then you move on to the social development section. This top part is where you talk about the students' relationships with both peers and adults and what you've witnessed and how they act in the different classes. This is the students' social strengths. So what do they excel in socially? And again, when you're talking about this part of the IEP, this is where the parent can express concern, and you would just need to log that in this section. Typically, the speech language pathologist is the person that fills out a good portion of this section, but feel free to add to it from a classroom perspective. Then we move on to physical development. This is where OT and PT might put in some information for the student if they have those services. When we talk about the student's health, as long as you don't see any medical concerns, you would say student seems to be in good health. We don't want to say they definitely are because we don't know for sure. This is also where you could say things like they wear glasses, they have asthma, they're allergic to certain things, they're on certain kinds of medication. Strengths can be the same thing as the first field, as long as that's applicable. And the last part, again, is the parent concerns regarding the child's physical development. Does the child need an accessible program? The answer is no. We don't currently have any students on accessible programs. Management needs. This is where you talk about the strategies that help the student be successful in the classroom. So this could be anything from graphic organizers to preferential seating to working in small groups, to having teacher check-ins, sentence starters. It really depends on the student, what strategies work best for them. Make sure you log them in this section, even if they were answered in the academic portion above. And this last part is where we want to say that the student has access to the general education curriculum and also participates in the general education curriculum, because we want to ensure equity amongst all students. Once you're done filling out this section, you can hit Save Done Editing and move on to your next section.